If you took a look at your life, the way you're living, your experiences, your behaviors, your decisions, the things you value, the things you cherish, do you think you would be able to tell what it is you're working for by those actions, by those values, by those decisions and behaviors? My name is Ed Trevors. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. I get to serve in the amazing town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, in the incredible parish of Church Shelburne that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And today I want to talk to you about our goals and whether or not you're living towards them. Yesterday we talked a lot about what Jesus said in the gospel about storing up for yourselves treasures in heaven, working on earth for things that are going to be valuable to you in heaven. Your reward, making sure that what you're working for in the here and now in your present life are things that you will have for eternity. Not to worry about money or prestige or power here on earth, but rather working for things that will be with you until the end of time. He says that those things that we work for here on earth, money, power, prestige, all that kind of stuff, that eventually that rots because they're earthly rewards, they're earthly treasures, and they're only valuable here on earth, and like everything on earth, they're temporal. They don't last forever. But he says if you're working for the kingdom, if you're working as God asks you to work, that the rewards God offers you for that service are things that are eternal. They'll always be with you. As Christians, we should be able to look at our day-to-day and evaluate it, review it, and we should be able to determine whether or not we are working for God or whether we are working for ourselves, whether we are working towards God's goals or whether we are working towards our earthly goals. And Christians should be, just by sheer definition of that word, followers of Christ, we should be working more and more and more towards God's coming kingdom in this world. And if we're doing that, we can also be absolutely secure, assured that we are storing up for ourselves rewards in heaven. But that same mentality can be applied to you and I as we live our earthly life. We all have dreams, we all have goals, we all have ambitions, and we should be able to see in our day-to-day actions, decisions, behaviors, our habits, we should be able to see in those things a pattern that shows us what it is we're working towards. For example, I really want to write a book. Now I've got 1,000 different ideas, but for the most part, on any given week, if we were to take a look at what I've accomplished that week, you'd be hard pressed to say, oh yeah, geez, without a shadow of a doubt, Ed's trying to write a book. Because sometimes I barely ever write. I have ambitions of starting a new community ministry. I have a desire to work with people and be a catalyst for transformation in their lives, where I support them in transforming their lives. And you may be able to look at my life and say, wow, I can see that pattern in your life, Ed. I can see your day-to-day actions, your day-to-day decisions, the projects, the tasks, the initiatives that you're undertaking. Yeah, they're leading you in that direction. The same is true for you. Whatever your ambitions, whatever your goals are, take a look at your day-to-day life And ask yourself, are the things that I am engaging in, the things that I'm undertaking, the things in my life that I'm valuing and the decisions that I'm making, are they leading me closer to my goals or not? And if they're leading me closer to my goals, then I want to keep them. I want to keep doing them. I want to do more of them. And if they're not leading me towards my goals, why am I doing them? That's what you have to ask yourself. Perhaps, maybe it's your goals that need to be reevaluated. Maybe you need to, oh, you know what? I really want to write that book, but that's not the big thing on my agenda for the next year or so. Who we are does not necessarily translate to the person we want to become. The person we want to become often requires us to make sacrifices and to change our behaviors and our patterns in the here and now so that we can ultimately achieve those goals. We can ultimately achieve, so that we can ultimately become that person. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and may you know the peace of being in God's presence. And I pray that your goals are aligned with God's goals. And I pray that what you're doing today is bringing you closer to being the person you hope to be tomorrow. Amen.